Hi, welcome to Jargon Busters. Today we're going to be talking about barrier features on structured products. Structured products come with a number of features that determine their payoff. One commonly seen feature in structured capital at risk products are various degrees of protection, which we normally refer to as a barrier or protection barrier conditions. Let's say a product is linked to an index and offers some protection of your investment against adverse movements in the index. That protection can be offered on 100% of your capital from day one. However, if a barrier condition is breached, then the protection on your product is effectively lost. Usually capital is protected so long as the index has not fallen below some level that is determined on the start date. For example, your capital may be protected as long as the index has not fallen more than 50% from its starting level on the maturity date. So a 40% fall would mean you still receive 100% of your initial capital back. When the barrier level is monitored at maturity, this is known as a European barrier. Another commonly used barrier type is an American barrier. This can be monitored either continuously or at the daily close. In the former case, this means the barrier condition is breached if the index falls below the respective barrier level at any time. Whereas with daily close monitoring, the barrier is breached if on any day during the life of the product the index is closed below the barrier level. In this graph, the index has fallen below the barrier level and then recovered at the maturity date. In the case of the European barrier, because it is only monitored at maturity and the index is recovered above the barrier level, capital remains protected and the investor receives 100% of their invested capital back. However, with an American barrier, despite the recovery, the barrier condition has been breached and the protection is lost. You can now see that the product makes a capital loss equivalent to the fall in the index at the maturity date. Of course, with an American barrier, just because the barrier has been breached, it does not necessarily mean that the investor will lose capital. The index could recover back above its starting level, in which case the investor should receive their starting capital back. Let's say the maturity date was earlier in this product. What is the effect now? Both barrier conditions have been breached, regardless of whether it is a European barrier or an American barrier. In this case, the final payout is the same under both types of barrier condition. There are other ways that barriers are monitored, such as averaging, that are beyond the scope of this video, but the important thing to take away is an understanding of the different levels of risk. We can see that an American barrier is riskier than a European barrier, as there is more opportunity for the protection to be lost. Because of the greater risk, then a product with an American barrier should potentially pay a greater return than one with a European, assuming all other variables are the same. Therefore, it is important to remember that when looking at a protection barrier, it is not just the percentage level to look at, but how it is monitored when assessing the risk-reward relationship of a structured product. Thanks for watching and see you next time.